Hey guys, welcome back to this 8th episode of Manchest United's Rebuild. In this episode we arrive at the January transfer window and I'm doing a bit more explaining how I make the signings. All the signings I make in this series, once again, are based on data, so go ahead and check the video down in the description how you can also start making signings with data. In this episode I'm explaining to you why I buy certain WONDERKIDS and what I look at for the WONDERKIDS, so go ahead and watch the rest of the video to find out how you can also buy the best WONDERKIDS that are available in Football Manager. The first thing we're taking a look at is once again how we did in the league and in the Champions League, and as you can see we're doing pretty well. This season we have a way more balanced team and a lot of substitutes which can also play ball very good. So I'm very happy with the balance in the squad. As you can see, we're top of the league. Together with Arsenal. Arsenal have been playing fantastic football as well. As you can see, they've only been winning here, only drawing against Aston Villa. And for us, the same. We did lose against Man City and here against Leeds, which is just a shame to lose those type of games. But other than that, we did win a lot of them. Currently in the Champions League, we're also in first. I think one win makes it so that we already have the automatic qualifications, and I think if we just lose the second two games, it doesn't really matter. So I might just play a backup team, so I have a fit squad for the Premier League. And the FA Cup also doing not very pretty well. I think we didn't even play a game. Oh no, we played the Carabao Cup. We beat Bournemouth. I think that's the... and we beat Southampton in the Carabao Cup. Oh, also Liverpool. I think that was our first draw. So we're now against Tottenham in the semi-finals, and if we beat them then it's Arsenal and Man City, so it's going to be very tough. Anyway, and for the transfer budget we have 31 million to spend, and let me just show you this. When I incoming transfers, I already have a couple of guys coming in next season. These are the youngsters that I wanted to bring in. Christian Norholt, a central defender, Danish, looking a very good, driven personality, coming in next season. Same goes for Bruce Matemelal, if I pronounce that correctly, a South African center back, also a very good potential. Looking forward to what this guy can bring as well. Sebastian Noir, and this guy is insane. I think he's going to be a defensive midfielder when we retrain him there, so he needs to train a little bit on his tackling. He will also join next season, and the same goes for Rodrigo Gonzalez, and look how good this guy is, 19 passing already. This guy is absolutely insane. He's also going to be joining us next season. So those are the 4 WONDERKIDS that I can sign already next season, so I only have 2 more left. So I'm going to need to make sure that the two WONDERKIDS that I do sign are going to be very good. I'm also trying to sign Warren Zaïre-Emery from Paris, but he wants a lot of wages, so I'm not sure if this guy's actually worth it. He does have a very good potential, so might be a good buy, but if I were to play him, I would play him as a defensive midfielder. And he could play there very well, so might actually consider bringing him in, because his potential of course is very good. However, 31 million, don't expect a lot, maybe some pre-contract signings. I don't really expect to sell any players, but we'll see how it pans out. I will be swimming through to January, to the end of the January transfer window, so that will be after the game against Norwich. We will see how we did in the Champions League, if we went through to the final of the Carabao Cup, and of course how we did against Arsenal in a very important game in the Premier League. I'll be back in 5 seconds. For you it's just a blip. Here we are at the end of the January transfer window, and I am semi-happy with how we did. We did win a lot of games, but we actually lost the game we shouldn't have lost against Arsenal, 5-1. We definitely got battered. I don't know what happened. The whole team just had an off day. As you can see, no one really scored higher than a 6.4 from our starting 11. Really disappointed with our players, but can't really do anything about it. We did beat Tottenham in the Carabao Cup, which means that we're now through to the final and we're playing Man City there, which is very nice. Well, I say that, but I forgot that there's also a second leg, so we still have to defeat Tottenham away from home, which is going to be tough, but we can do it, I think. Then we barely beat Brighton. We won our remaining 2 Champions League games, and we beat Nottingham Forest as well as Stoke in the FA Cup, and we have now been drawn against Sunderland in the FA Cup, so that's another pretty easy opponent to take out, I hope. This means that in the league we're still second place, very much ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea, which is nice, but Arsenal is still a pain in the ass. They keep winning every game as well, so it's pretty unfortunate that they're just on such a good streak. They barely beat Liverpool here, they barely beat Leeds here, so I hope that they're still gonna lose, but we also have a lot of tough opponents left, so it's going to be a very close title race. Then in the UEFA Champions League we have we're placed first, so that means automatic qualification. So I think that means that we'll only have to play in March, so we still have so we'll have a little bit more free time in February, which is very nice because the schedule has been so busy. Then the English FA Cup, of course we're through, and the Carabao Cup, that second leg against Tottenham, and then we might be in the final, which would be very nice. However, the Carabao Cup for me doesn't really matter. Then let's jump on to the signings that we may have possibly made and the sales that we did. And all the players that left the club you'll see to the right here. So Finlay McAllister, which is a youngster, left on loan. Shea Lacey, also left on loan, also a youngster. Stephen Boney, also, that was one of our first Wonder Kids, and this is his first loan, I do think. He's went on loan to Sheffield United. This guy, he's not going to be very good, but if we just loan him out, we could maybe sell him on for a profit later on. You never know. Then Dennis Sirkin, we brought this guy in, I think, 2 seasons ago, as a backup fullback, didn't really play a lot, bought him in for 15.7 million, but apparently made such an impression that PSV from the Netherlands wanted to buy him for 30 million, so that's a 15 million profits. I really didn't mind, he was free to leave for that amount of money. Then Lisandro Martinez, of course, has been with us from the beginning of the save. 61 million we paid for him, and we sold him off for 70. He was turning 29. He didn't want to renew his contract with us anymore. He still had a contract for 1 year, but I decided it was good enough for me to move him on. So he went to Arsenal. Of course, a very good player. And then I was looking for a replacement. Unfortunately, a replacement didn't really come because I didn't sign anyone. That was because I couldn't really find anyone who was worth the money to bring in. And those guys, like Lisandro Martinez, played a lot for us. Don't take me wrong, but whenever he played, he wasn't like outstanding. Especially in the big games, he didn't really show up. So I wasn't really too hard-struck to let him go, and I didn't bring anyone in. But what I did do is I brought in some players for next season already, and you can see that right here. So Konrad Leimer is joining us next season, joining from Manchester City. He's on a very expensive contract, but this guy has been everywhere in the top, and now he's coming in to fill that spot for Martinez. So I hope this guy can just play for us 2 or 3 seasons and really be that nice little backup that we need. Of course, I want to use him as a fullback as much as possible, because that's where Martinez was also playing, but also as a ball-winning midfielder, this guy is insane with 20 work rate. So hopefully this guy can help us with our squad depth. Then I've also brought in Warren Zaïre-Emery from Paris. This guy could be a very good fullback, I already looked at, but I think we're going to be training him to just be a defensive midfielder. Probably just going to be loaning him out. He's on a very expensive contract, I think 150k, so I hope he can just get some playing time and improve a little bit more. And then we have all of these youngsters, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 youngsters who are coming in, and they are joining at the end of next season, of this season. So then that's when they will be joining. And the most important one from all of them is Rodrigo Gonzalez. And look how good this guy already is. 17 first touch, 16 dribbling, 19 passing, 18 technique, 16 decisions, 18 flair, and 17 work rate. Insane player. What I'm going to be showing you in a bit is my Excel sheet where it shows how good this guy actually is in a certain position, and you'll see that this guy is 18, but it's already a first team player for us. Other than that, just some other wonder kids. You'll probably see them next season. As you can see, we have 90 million in the transfer budget, so our finances are looking pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm going to be spending this 90 million. What I wanted to do is wanted to bring in Nico Slotterbeck, but he was 102 million with a pretty expensive contract. And I wanted to bring in possibly Benjamin Sesko, however, also a very expensive player, so couldn't really get both of them in. So probably gonna save the money. I can't really get any more wonder kids in, so what I'll be doing is I'll be saving this money to bring in a big signing at the end of the season. Without any further ado, I'm now going to be switching to the Excel sheet to show you how that actually works and how we can see that a player is actually better than what we expect him to be. For the people who aren't familiar with how the datasheet works, go ahead and check the video in the description and I'll explain everything. For the people who already know, I'm just going to move on, so pause the video if you don't understand how this works. Basically, in short, every player gets a rating, how good they are based on their stats. So as you can see, Jamal Musiala, based on advanced forward, he's the best player that I have ever scouted. So luckily, he's already in my team. So for example, we will sort on goalkeepers and you see that there's almost 9 goalkeepers who are better than Dennis Simon at this moment. Unfortunately, they're all very expensive, or Dennis Simon's only 20, this guy's 24, so I hope that Simon is still going to get better than that. I think, like, really, if you look at Champions League or Premier League level, Champions League winner level is 15 to 16s. Premier League level is 13s to 14s and Championship is 12 to 13s. That really means that if a player is like 15 or 16, he's already insanely good to win the Champions League with us, and if you only have 15s, the chances of winning the Champions League is very high. So what I wanted to show you is if I go to teams right here and click on yes, and then if I go to, where is it, attacking forward, you see a youngster popping up here, which shouldn't really already be here. For example, Pufandi right here, he's already very good. And also Rodrigo Gonzalez right here, you see him, he's 17 years old and he's already a 14.5 when it comes to attacking midfielder. The same goes for if we look into another position, for example ball playing midfielder. You have Mark Bernal here, who's 19 years old, he's a 13.4, but more importantly, we have Kenny Sutton right here, he's 17 and a 13.2. And as I have written down here, Kenny Sutton, if you're between 16 and 24, you can grow 3 more points. Which means that Kenny Sutton is currently at 13.2. He has a model citizen personality. My scout scouted him and he said he had a high potential. So he could be around the 16, which means that if this guy trains up, he's going to be an insane center back for us. And let me now show you Kenny Sutton and Rodrigo Gonzalez in game, and you'll see why they are so good. Of course, before I already showed you Rodrigo Gonzalez, but you can understand from looking at this guy that he's going to be insane in either one of those attacking midfield positions. Because he already has 16 dribbling, 17 first touch, 14 long shot, 19 passing, and 18 technique. So he is going to be insane with a fairly professional personality. And of course my scouts say that he has still a lot to learn, so he could become even better. That's the reason why I buy him. Then let's jump to Kenny Sutton. So this is Kenny Sutton, and as you can see, as a ball playing defender, if I can select it right there, you see 11, 11, 16, 16, 16, which means that he's already insane. He's 18 years old, we bought him for 30 million, however his potential ability did get knocked down a little bit, but as a model citizen he's always going to reach a high potential, so his potential is always going to be reached. I really hope that this guy is going to be insane for us, but it could also be a misbuy. The only thing I check is I check in the Excel sheet if the player is already around the 13, 12.5 rating and if he has a good personality. Because all the players that are in my Excel sheet all have recommendations of A pluses. So let me show you what a recommendation of A plus does to your player. If you go to player range, you see here it's A plus, A plus, A plus, A plus. But if it has an A plus for a younger player, so for example this Sebastian Noah, who's also coming in, you also see he has an A rating and his potential ability is 4 stars. Definitely 4 stars, could be 5. Then let's jump to another player, Fabiano Breton. He also has the same, but he is a 2 stars with a potential 4.5 stars, but he's a fairly professional. Well, this guy probably in my datasheet doesn't have the right stats or isn't good enough to really be bought, because he's probably like a 12 or just lower what I expect from a player. If I was playing in a lower division team, of course I would buy this guy already, but because his potential isn't especially going to be reached for my team, I decide not to buy him. So that's how I calculate which wonderkid I want to get in and which wonderkid I want to leave out of my team. Once again, the video explaining it all is in the description. If you want more information, just leave a comment and I'll try to explain how it actually works. There's a lot of different rules. I think right now there's 12 rules in the Excel sheet which you can use. If you want to use different rules as well, let me know and I can add them for you. That's no problem. Anyway, that's where I'm going to be ending this episode. What I'll be doing is I'll be simming forward to the end of the season once again. I will let you know if anything special happens, if we're in any final that might be nice to see, but other than that I will just be simming forward to the end of the season. I'll see if I make any other signings, but don't think I'm gonna make any signings. I think signings are going to be done at the end of this season once again. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps me out. And once again, thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.